All right, looks like 3 weeks to a month of working on this Central Electronics 100V has finally paid off. I finally have the sideband working, and I don't think my previous videos of the audio levels from the inversion tube were spot on. I did see some 8 megahertz RF in one of the side components, as evidenced on the videos from yesterday, which you can take a look at, that are previous to this video. But I took apart the PS2 module and I went through the capacitors inside, and the 2 primary capacitors were off a bit. Actually, there's a bunch of them that are off. So what I found is it's critical for the PS2 device to have exact 1% values. They're not kidding. It's got to be within 1% or 2% or something. So I found that this value here was off. They're saying that there's some mica disease, that because there's B+ voltage going into these two here, this one and this one, it makes the mica capacitor go bad. And I guess you should put a 0.1 blocking capacitor in here that'll pass audio and not pass DC. So this 1850 puff capacitor and this 4711 go bad, and in my case they were simply high in value. This was probably 4900 and this thing was, I don't know, 19 something. Anyway, that seemed to be critical, so I put in the Chinese communist capacitors that I use for everything around here, and I'm hoping these micas aren't, you know, superheat stabilized and all that, and the capacitor technology has improved in 50 years, that my Chinese communist capacitors will work well. Anyway, here's what I took out. So these, I'm doing fine now without these. I don't know if they were leaky. They basically were out of spec as far as value. And so these came out. I think I lost one of these somewhere. Anyway, rambling on. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I checked all these. Oh, so I have a new tool here, which is a capacitance meter. This is on Amazon. This tool was absolutely essential for fixing the PS2. This is on Amazon. It's about 30 bucks. It's a great deal. People bash China, but you know what? China is a rising power and they make great tools for cheap. So I know the USA is bashing China. We're kind of falling behind in the USA. We're not really innovating anymore, I don't think. Maybe we are in high research and all that, but basic tech, I don't know. Anyway, this meter was on Amazon. Great meter. I used this to measure the capacitors to get them very, very close to the 1% value. So I made sure that these two, well, I tried to get all these input capacitors to 1%, and I think I succeeded. I'm trying to find the box of Chinese communist capacitors I used in here. The 3K volt capacitors. Where the hell's the box? Here they are. So these were only 10 bucks on Amazon, and awful handy to have these around. They say they're 3K voltage, so they can take 3 kilovolts. I figured these were good for the cause. I'm kind of running low on these, but I was able to check them with a capacitor meter and find values just by substitution that were reasonable for this project. So I'm kind of running out of these, but these are what I used exclusively in the PS2, which might be an insult to purists using mica capacitors, but hey, 50 years later, maybe these capacitors are better. So anyway, yeah, replaced all these. These two here are off by about 6%, so I'm not too happy with these. 626, I didn't have anything around that. These others were kind of mixed and matched. I'll take the PS2 apart later and show you how it looks inside now. Anyway, what I'm happy to say is it was critical to do all this work because this thing is now working. I kept thinking that this stage was a little funny. On pin 3 here, I'm still getting RF coming out on this thing, like 8 megahertz RF from the 8 megahertz crystal oscillator. Pin 1 seems a little more reasonable, but whatever. I'm just happy it's working now. So let me show you how it's working. So I'm looking at the SDR now on the double sideband band. And if I go on, say, upper sideband here, and I go to voice mode, I'm injecting I'm injecting audio from the crystal oscillator on this R4B. So it's probably putting 1,000 hertz or something. So anyway, if I go to voice here now, you don't see anything coming through at all, which is what you want. If your sideband is balanced, you don't want to see a signal. So now I can control the balance here with these balance controls to the balance modulator, and you'll see a signal will poke up when I turn these, and that's what it should do. So now I'm trying to balance it and have no signal. So I'm very happy with how that's working. I can pretty much take these into noise. This one pot still goes all the way to one side, but I still don't have signal, so I don't care, I guess. You can see that when I take this all the way counterclockwise, I lose the signal. And the null meter shows the same thing when I go to null mode here. Anyway, you can use a receiver to do this instead of the null meter. So what's important then is the sideband working? So to test that, I have a 1,000 hertz tone going into this thing or thereabouts. And when I bring the tone up, you should see the signal coming up on sideband as per usual. So sure enough, when I increase this is the AF gain here, and if I keep this down all the way, there's no audio coming in. So when I turn this thing up on upper sideband, you'll see that indeed there is an upper sideband. So if we go to the carrier mode here and see where the carrier centers, the carrier is centering right in the center of my bandpass here of my window. So that's where the carrier is centered. If I go to voice mode now and bring up the audio level, you'll see that I have an upper sideband signal, which I should, because I have USB selected here. If I go to lower sideband, it should go to the left of that center. And there we are, left of center. So I'm really happy with that result. And if we go double sideband, you should see 2 of those. And indeed, there are 2 of them. They're about the same height. So I'm pretty damn happy with this thing. And I'm trying to stress that people that are trying to repair these 100Vs and 200Vs, this PS2 is critical to getting the sideband to work. You'll get double sideband, you'll get AM, but you won't get decent sideband if this thing isn't working. What else? These 2 little packs down here, that one I think has the balance modulator and diodes. You must put good diodes in there. Nick gave me a hand with what diodes to put in there on his site and by email. And I have the package of diodes I put in from Amazon. These were $10 for 50 diodes. I put in these diodes last night just as a precautionary measure, and I don't know if it made a difference. I had some other Schottkys in here. These have a real different kind of reading on the diode meter as far as a very low reading, forward reading in the dot 100 or about dot 100. The other ones I had were like dot 500, so I think they're still here. Little pesky diodes, yeah. So I had these other little Schottkys I had from Bojack in there, and they were still working. But anyway, I just wanted to go with what Nick prescribes because he's fixed probably tens of these and knows what he's doing. So that's it. I think it's working now. What else can we do on here? Can go to AM mode. Okay, there's AM, and on AM it looks about the same. Why is that? I can increase the carrier here in AM a bit, which makes a difference. Increase the power level here a bit. And could go to AM mode here and listen. Okay, now we're on AM. That's interesting. Okay, I guess AM does work like that. It has 2 sidebands and a carrier, so that's about right. Let's turn on some audio and see what it sounds like here on the computer itself. So it's got a little squeal going on there. Let's turn it a bit. There we are. So that's that. That's AM mode. Upper sideband carrier. That's not really dumping one of the sidebands, is it? Lower sideband carrier. Not sure those are working right, but I wouldn't use those. There's double sideband. And now we're in double sideband mode here. Looks like a lot of bandwidth actually. Let's increase the bandwidth. Here we are. Double sideband, upper sideband, and that doesn't look too good. So upper sideband, I should get 1 sideband, not 2. Let's look at our center frequency here. There it is. So that doesn't seem quite right. And there's lower. So I'm wondering, did something degrade as I've been testing here? I wonder. That was working perfectly when I first started the video. Lower, upper. What if we go to LSB here? Okay, lower sideband. I should probably try some speech through this thing and not mess with these tones. Anyway, that looks like 2 sidebands, and I should get 1. Upper sideband, lower. I can almost get the carrier out entirely, which is nice. Yeah, there. But I should be only getting 1 sideband, I think. Not 2. So maybe I still got problems in this thing. I was all happy. Let's see. Let's go to manual mode here. That's a lot of power. I can't see that's any different. There we are. Well, I might need some more work in this thing. I thought we had it fixed, but it doesn't seem quite right, does it? Here's LSB. I gotta get some audio through this thing here. Let's see. Alright, I'll probably make another video once I figure this out. It seems close to being fixed, but maybe not. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.